and sisters are in right now. But the freedom I'm talking about is not freedom from bondage, of physical bondage, more so a freedom of spiritual bondage that we put ourselves in a lot of times, a freedom of from mental bondage. Because I was reading in this book. It said, and I forget the name of the book, but it was talking about how to train a flea. And it said the way to train a flea is you take it and you put it in a canister, and you put a top on the canister, and you let it jump and hit, jump and hit, jump and hit, jump and hit, and after a while, you take the top off the canister, and that flea will jump up and come straight back down, jump up and come straight back down in the canister, because it's gotten used to having a seal put on it, having a bond put on it. So with us, dear Muslims, dear believers, we have to get the freedom of taking the mental bond off of us. And when I say mental bond, the mental bond that we think is hard to learn the Quran. We think that it's hard to practice Islam in our country because of things that are going on right now. It's not hard. Shaitan wants us to think it's hard. He wants us to think it's hard. Freedom, if you look at the word freedom, it means free your mind. It means freedom of mind, freedom to think. And my topic today, again, is freedom of intellect. So I'm going to read from Surah Al-Asr, which is 103, where it says, Wal Asr, Innal insana lafi khus, illa ladina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawasal bil haqq wa tawasal bil sabr. Now it says, by the token of time through the ages, verily man is in loss. It says, except such as have faith and do righteous deeds and join together in the mutual teaching of truth and patience and constancy. It's a very short surah, only 3 ayats, but every ayat, every word in the Quran is impactful. Every ayat, every word in the Quran means something. And so when I was looking at the surah, and this is one of the surahs we come in when we take our shahada, or when we're growing up. This is one of the first surahs we learn because it's an easy surah. It's 3 ayats. But when we look, I was looking at the surah and I said, okay, this goes along with my topic, because it says, by the token of time through the ages, verily man is in loss. And when it says man, it means male and female. It says man is in loss. And we say, well, loss of what? And how much time? And this time right here, it can mean a short time, a long time. It could be tomorrow. If I go out and I rob a bank, and I get caught, then I'm in loss because I done lost my freedom, right? So when we think about freedom and we look at this surah, it says, verily man is in loss. So what did man lose? That's the question. What have we lost, in this time? But then it said, and what type of man or what type of human being is in loss? And so then it says, except such as have faith. Now, faith comes first. Now, we have to have that faith. That has to be the priority. We have faith to come here today. We have faith that we were going to wake up today. We made plans yesterday to come to Juma today. That's faith, because we didn't know if we was going to wake up today. You didn't know if Allah was going to call you back. We didn't know if we was going to get in an accident on I-20, I-75, 85 coming here. No, we have faith that, okay, I'm making my intentions to come to Juma because I have faith in Allah that Allah is going to get me there safely. So when we look at this faith, I was thinking about Adam, the prophet Adam. May Allah have mercy on him, grant him the paradise, and in the garden. And so we all know the story of Adam in the garden, where he goes, and Adam and Hawa in the garden, or Adam and Eve in the garden, when they go and they say, okay, well, and Shaitan whispers to him, okay, you could pick from this, pick from that, pick from that, but don't go near, or but you want to go pick this one because it's the best one. And Allah tells them, don't go near this. It says, in biblical language, this tree. But in Quranic language, Imam Muhammad said to us, he said the garden means the universe. He said that the human being has access to the entire universe. And when I was reading that commentary, I said, we have access to the entire universe, yes. We have, and we have access to things we don't even understand. We call them theories. We theorize a lot as human beings. We say, I theorize there's a black hole out there. Never been into a black hole, never touched a black hole. I theorize these stars are balls of gas, so on and so forth. We have a lot of theories, that come, and a theory is something that can always be disproven. So theories of 50 years ago may not be the theory of today because they may be fact or they may have been disproven. So when we come and look at it, I was looking at it and I said, that's something that the human psyche has still been dealing with to this day. I'm talking about the shaitan, because shaitan is a creature. He likes to play on our emotions, our passions, our sensitivities. And, I was watching this show called Let's Make a Deal. I know it's an old show, but it's still on TV with Wayne Brady, I think. And so, let's make a deal. That's what Shaitan comes to us and says. Let's make a deal. Okay, Tajuddin, let's make a deal. Okay, Abdul. Okay, Sophia, let's make a deal. Shaitan comes to us and says, let's make a deal. And I was watching that show, and I said, look at this psyche on a human being. They may have played this game and they won $2,000, $1,500, and they have the cash in hand. $100 bills, but then the host comes and says, well, you can have this $1,500, or you can have what's behind door number 1, 2, or 3. And sure enough, then more often than not, because I watched the show a few times, they say, I'm gonna give you this back. I want to see what's behind door number 3, door number 2. Don't know what it is, but I want to see what's behind it. And so that's how, the emotions and the psyche and the sensitivities of the human being have been played. And when we look at Adam, Father Adam, it's two people called Father in Islam, Father Adam and Father Ibrahim. And Adam is the father of human potential. Now, the human potential, we potentially have we have the potential to be right or to be wrong. And when Adam did slip and Hawa did slip and make that mistake, because they only wanted to be obedient to Allah, because in the biblical language it says you will become like gods. In Quranic language it says angels. And, angels are, completely submissive to Allah. So all Adam and Hawa wanted to do was be completely submissive to Allah. And they went and made that mistake, but they repented. So we have the potential to repent. So another thing with the psyche, Imam Muhammad, may Allah have mercy on him and grant him the paradise, he said that knowledge is embedded in our genes. It's embedded in our genes. And he said we will never, you don't see, and it's embedded in the genes of the creation. He said you'll never go and teach a bird how to build a nest. I said, we never go and teach a fish or a shark how to swim. Say, okay, you're gonna go like this, you're gonna move like that. We don't go and teach animals these things. You don't go teach a bear how to hunt. You don't say, okay, when this deer comes by, we're gonna go rawr, and swipe at it. We don't go and teach animals or nature these things, but they do teach us, because it's Allah's creation. But Allah He put us as Khalifa. He put us as Khalifa, governors over this entire creation. So we learn from the creation, but we also give the creation, the creation names. We give everything a name. We give toenails a name. We give hair a name. and in different languages. So the potential for the human being is to be right. It's in our genes. The knowledge of right-mindedness, of God consciousness, is in our genes. The faith is in our genes. We were created to be faithful creatures. We were created to be faithful human beings. So we go down to another example where we see this, because I was watching I have an 8-month-old daughter now. I have a 12-year-old, 7-year-old, and an 8-month-old daughter now. And, I was out the game for a while with having children, so I'm looking at my daughter develop, and I have forgotten how it was for, watching a child develop, and it's very interesting to see a child develop. Imam Muhammad said, don't take the development of a child lightly. He said, or the human being lightly. He said, look at the development that's happening within the human being. He said, this is the nature Allah created us in. So I was looking at it and I said, look at this. My daughter didn't go to sucking school. She didn't go to, I didn't teach her how to suck. I didn't teach her how to crawl. I didn't teach her how to sit up. I'm not teaching her these things. And her development, is just so amazing, because like I said, these things are embedded in our genes already to know and understand. We got, how to crawl, how to walk, how to do this, how to do that. And when they come into that full intellect, because I never talked to my daughter in, I never talked to her like that. None of my children. I said, I don't ever go, and if you look at it, you're not supposed to do that with, children. They're human beings. They're learning creatures. Their eyes, the eyes are wide open, just, the curiosity, just looking around, soaking everything up. So if you talk to them with retarded language, they're going to grow up with retarded language. But if you speak with them intelligently, with intellect, with Quran and other things, then they're going to grow up as thinking beings like we are right now. So what is intellect, or what is intelligence? In Arabic, the word is aqala, and it means to have intelligence, be conscious, comprehend, make reasonable, rational. Now, intellect separates us from everything else in the creation. As I said, Allah put us as a governor over the creation. You see animals doing things from thousands of years ago that they were still doing today. The ant that builds ant hills and does, gets food and so on and so forth. They're still doing the same thing that they did thousands of years ago. The bird is still flying around like this from thousands of years ago. But what has the human being done? The human being has made it to where we can change our environment anytime we want to. If it's cold outside, we can make it hot in here. If it's hot outside, we can make it cold. If I want to go to the moon, which or go to outer space, we build something. Okay, I'm going to go to outer space. When's the last time you've seen a bird build a ship to go to outer space? Or even go beyond the Earth's atmosphere? So man is constantly working to develop himself, and Allah has put that potential in us to do so. And that's what freedom of intellect is. See, we have the freedom to think, to understand, and to know how to develop, not only in our physical life, but our spiritual life and our mental life. So when it comes down to it, we have the wherewithal to change what's on our outside, but also what's on our inside. And that's what I really want to get at today with us, dear believers. Because in the ayat it says, faith and do righteous deeds and join together in mutual teaching of truth and patience and constancy. And inshallah, we'll talk about that within the second half of the khutbah. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار O Allah, give us good in this world and good in the hereafter, and protect us from the torment of the fire. Ameen. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum. You know, when I walked in here today, you know, I mean, we have a beautiful community. I walked in here and I said, wow, look at this rug. Alhamdulillah, we coming up, y'all. You know, this rug, and then next is the building, inshallah. Build a new masjid. But again, we're talking about Al-Asr. I'm going to read it again. It says, by the token of time through the ages, verily man is in loss, except such as have faith, do righteous deeds, and join together in mutual teaching of truth, patience, and constancy. You know, I want to read from, this is a quote from Imam Muhammad, and it says, it was a talk he was giving called Human Role Intelligence. It says, don't you know man has been created with intelligence and with industry? Nobody has been created on this earth to be oppressed, to work, to hate work, to not to want to be industrious. No one has been created to be like that. The world conditions us to be like that. It gives us so much non-reality and so much pollution in the plan of truth, and it gives us so much corruption and so much falsehood, so much twisting of truth, so much fantasies and so much fairy tales, so much kindergarten stuff. Now, when I was looking at this, I said, you know, yes, we have freedom of intellect, but just like someone says to us, pay attention. If I say to you, pay attention, you know what I mean? I'm talking about pay attention to what I'm saying, or pay attention to what's going on over here, so on and so forth. Why do I have to pay for your attention? Or why do we have to pay for the attention? You know, am I giving you money for your attention? If I say pay attention, you know, so when we look at this, you know, I said, what do we give our attention to? Do we give our attention to ignorance? Like Imam Muhammad was saying right here, he said, opposed to work. Now, if I took a survey in here and said, how many of us like to go to work? How many of us love what we do? You know, some people will say, well, you know, you might have a few to say, yeah, I love what I do, brother. I love what I do. But others will say, man, I hate go to work. I hate going to work because I want to get the benefit of, you know, going to work, getting the hours, making the money, but I don't feel like going to that job. So and so be getting on my nerves. You know, my manager gets on my nerves, so on and so forth. You know, I just hate the type of work it is, but it's work. You know, we don't come up and you don't hear any human being say, when I grow down, I'm gonna be this. When I grow this, you know, you say, when I grow what? Up. When I grow up, I'm gonna be a doctor. When I grow up, I'm gonna be a lawyer. When I grow up, I'm gonna be, you know, so on and so forth. So it's in us to be industrious and not be lazy. And when I say industrious and not be lazy, it's in us to say, okay, you know, I wanna do righteousness for Allah. You know, it's like it says, I want to do good deeds for Allah. Well, go out and do some charity. Go out and talk to somebody about Islam. And don't worry about not knowing how to articulate the Quran or not knowing how to articulate the religion, because Imam Muhammad said, he said, even if you can't articulate it, just point at the Quran, just go and let the person read the Quran for themselves. Because we don't make people Muslim. We're just people who invite. We invite. Hey brother, hey sister, why don't you come to the masjid? You know, or why don't you read this pamphlet? Why don't you read that pamphlet? You all know who in the nation know what I'm talking about. You know, if I'm making my business to, if I'm at work, you know, I'm making my business to try to talk to somebody about Islam. And I won't even say, oh, Islam. I'll just talk to them indirectly about something, about life, and give them my views on life. And my views, of course, are going to be in accordance with the Quran. So if you give people your views on life, and when I say give them your views, don't just speak it, but be in accordance with it. If they invite you out to something that's not Islamic, say, nah, I don't do that. You know, oh, you must be a good person, good Christian, good Muslim, whatever. Yeah, I don't do that. Yes, because I am good. I have righteousness in my soul. I have the Quran is my guide. So when it comes, and another thing is, you know, because I wanted to touch on this, where Imam Muhammad said so much falsehood, so much twisting of truth, so much fantasies, so much fairy tales, so much kindergarten stuff. Now, we as Muslims have this intellect. We as human beings have this intellect. So when we watch these so-called quote-unquote reality shows, you know, because I remember when I was growing up, you might have had one or two, I think The Real World or something like that, one or two, three reality shows on TV. Now, you can't change the channel without seeing a reality show. Everything is quote-unquote reality show. But that's not reality, brothers and sisters. You know, I know brothers and sisters who base their marriage off these shows. Oh, well, Portia on Real Housewives of Atlanta or you know, they didn't say that she handled it this way. They handled it that way. Really, you know, people who not even married. Real Housewives of what? You know, none of them people are married. It might be one on there that's married. The rest of them are Real Housewives or real jump-offs of Atlanta. You know, nobody. So when we look at these different shows, you know, The Bachelor, so on and so forth, you know, all this stuff, all this ignorance on TV, and then we let our children watch it. You know, that's what I'm really getting at. You know, you have to monitor our children's shows, because if we let our children watch this stuff, we watching this stuff, then our intellect is being wasted. Because you could be intellectual, but knowledgeably stupid. You know, you have no understanding. Now, that show is not going to give me understanding. That TV is not going to give me understanding. I'm not saying don't go out and have fun every now and again. Like, me and my wife went to go see the Batman Superman movie yesterday, and it was good. You know, but we don't focus on that all the time. That's not something that's just like a cornerstone of our existence. Like, we have to watch this. So all I'm saying is, don't give way to the fantasies, to what Imam Muhammad said, like the kindergarten way of life, the kindergarten way of thinking. Because if we do, you're paying your attention to the wrong thing, and you're not going to get any reward for what you're paying for. So again, something that also touches on that, because it says, righteous deeds and join together in mutual teaching of truth. Now, we have a lot of things going on in the world, and we have a lot of problems just within our little corner of the world, our community, you know, the community of Imam Wahid Muhammad. And I'm not about to get into everything that's going on, but we have a few dissension, you know, a little dissension going on in our community right now. And in order for us to move forward at all, dear brothers and sisters, we have to have, you know, and it may sound corny, but unity in our community. I'm talking about our community. I remember at one of the conventions, Imam Muhammad said that I'm not worried about El-Islam in the future. He said, I'm worried about you and El-Islam in the future. You know, so if we keep having dissension and we're going against each other, you know, helping the shaitan out, then, you know, our community is not going to progress in the way it should. Because, you know, my father, when he said you have a problem, he has something called POC, P-O-C. And he says when we have a problem, you know, every problem is an opportunity, and every opportunity is a challenge. So when we have a problem in our community, or have a problem with, you know, brother or sister, that's the opportunity to make things right, to make and handle it right, because every opportunity is a challenge. Because, as I said before, we all have the potential to be, excellent mu'mins, excellent mu'minas. We all have the potential to do that. It's just like potential energy and kinetic energy. For those of you who know science or, went through 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, you know about potential and kinetic energy. The potential energy is the energy that's what? Still, it's stagnant, right? But kinetic energy is that energy put into play. So if, for example, a boxer, if I'm standing like this, or not even a boxer, just somebody you might think you'd be able to fight. Now, if that person's just standing like this and you come up to them, and then they start saying, okay, let's go. And they from potential to kinetic and saying, okay, I'm going to get you now. And you start feeling that kinetic energy when they start connecting with your face. This is something that from that potential to that kinetic that and I use that example, but when we go out and we speak to people, we have the potential in us to spread the word of Islam, because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Khayrukum man ta'allama al-Qur'ana wa 'allamahu." He said, the best of you is those who learn the Quran and teaches it. Now, when we go out, or when you're just talking amongst each other, or talking to another Muslim, it doesn't even have to be a Christian. It could just be a Muslim that has went a little bit off track. Because I tell people this all the time. Growing up in Islam doesn't make you Muslim. Growing up in Islam doesn't make you mu'min. Just because I grew up Muslim, my father was a Muslim, my mother was a Muslim, I know people that I grew up with that if this is the straight path, they like by this door. So when I say invite people back, invite us back. We have to work on us first. Then we could start working on other people. So what I'm talking about is when you have people on, like I said, people on the straight way, and the potential to invite people back. That's what we have to start doing. But we have to do it with the correct thinking, the correct intellect, with the truth and the constancy, with like it says right here, truth, patience, and constancy. Because you may invite a person or talk to them once, you may talk to them twice, you may talk to them 3 times, but they may not come out. But on that 4th time you talk to them, they may come out. Or they may say, oh, I want to know more about, what you're talking about Islam. Because like I said, we have to look out for each other, dear brothers and sisters. We have to have unity in our community. We can't run it separately. We can't run everything separately. And we can't be tied up. We can't have our intellect tied up in things that are not going to pay any dividends to us. So, alhamdulillah, again, it's good to see you all here. And I just wanted to make a quick announcement that the Shahada classes will be starting back April 10th at 10 a.m. For those who you all who wanted to attend. So again, thank you for your time, brothers and sisters. Thank you for paying attention. Alhamdulillah. Rahmatan fi dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban nar. Allah give us good in this world and good in the hereafter, and protect us from the torment of the fire. Ameen.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salat. Hayya ala falah. Qad qamatis salat. Qad qamatis salat. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصلوا بالحق وتواصلوا بالصبر الله أكبر سمي الله من حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون فمن يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين الله أكبر سمي الله من حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله
Assalamu alaikum. I wanted to give you today's announcements. Um, as everyone can notice by now, we've got new carpet in the Musalla. Um, we can thank Imam Furqan Muhammad through his contacts. We did not have to pay for the carpet. We did not have to pay for the installation of the carpet. Only thing we had to pay for was the padding. And we are still working on doing the same thing on the other side, so the sisters can feel comfortable knowing that that is also a musalla as well. And if you've noticed, with the way the chairs have been repositioned, that it takes away from the sisters being able to form their lines as much as they used to. So it's a work in progress. We probably don't need to have as many chairs in the musalla, but like I said, it's a work in progress. So please bear with us as we transition to the new environment that we have. Please don't forget the fundraiser at ICLAS on Sunday at 6:30. On Sunday, March 27th, Sister Khadijah's daughter is involved in the dance community, and this is their way of supporting her daughter in that arena. And so this is their way of raising funds to help her. So please, $10 for adults home cooked meals, $6 for children. Tomorrow is the fashion show at the Dawah Center. Tickets are $25. It's for brothers and sisters. I'm planning on going. We've already bought our tickets, so alhamdulillah, brothers, come join me. And that's tomorrow at the Dawah Center I think that's from 5 to 9. $25 a ticket. On Monday, April the 18th, as us be a part of the Turner Field Coalition, we've been asking everyone to sign the petition. We're going to deliver those petitions to City Hall, and we're asking for as many Muslims to show up as possible. That's Monday, April the 18th at 10:30 at City Hall. They're trying to work out the logistics of maybe parking here at the masjid and shuttling people downtown so you won't have to pay to park. So there'll be more forthcoming information on that. Next Friday after Jumu'ah, Sister Noura Muhammad will be doing a book signing on the book that she's published. I think everyone, especially that has children, this book will be an excellent book because it talks about how to educate your children using Quran as your basis. It's a good book. On Sunday, April 3rd, in Savannah, Georgia, the Ali family, along with the community of Masjid Jihad, they'll have a memorial service celebrating the life and legacy of Imam Majid Fahim Ali. That's from 5 to 7 at the Cloverdale Community Center in Savannah. I've already sent this flyer out for those who don't have that information. We do have some flyers available. Support the children of Project Smile. They represent our future. And if those of you who did not make it, I understand the Quranic recitation that they had last Sunday was very successful. Alhamdulillah. Don't forget the breakfast here at the masjid from 9 to 2. See Brother Akbar for information concerning the Dawah team's trip to Washington, D.C., promoting the idea to remove all racial images from religion after Jummah. Assalamu alaikum. Oh, we have a brother. Oh, also Sunday at 11, which cemetery? Okay, going to Lovejoy. From leaving here from 11 o'clock, headed to Lovejoy. And we have a brother here that wants to take his shahada. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed us today with a brother who wants to take his shahada. His name is Quintarius, and this is his brother right here, Milton. So alhamdulillah, that's what the khutbah was about, giving the dawah, and so he started with his family, so that's a great blessing. Alhamdulillah, brother. May Allah, hold 1 second, sister. Oh, yeah. So, brother, you can repeat after, and we talked to him already, and his brother's giving him the dawah too, alhamdulillah. So, brother, just repeat after me. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. I bear witness that there is nothing worthy of worship except Allah. And I bear witness that Prophet Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Takbir. 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 So we should congratulate the brother. And I just want to let you know that if you understand what you just said, that Allah forgive you for all your past, and now you're like a brand new person. May Allah make you successful. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, bro.
Just have one more announcement. Anyone interested in training for construction work and getting your CDL, the Marcus Hall at the Center for Working Families is having a class that starts Monday, March the 28th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. See Brother Anis Fardan for more information. Assalamu alaikum.